All right.
What is going on, everybody? If you don't already know, I go by Philly Mike, and he's been on here before, and he's back live on his channel, Philly Take with RB. Go ahead. How do you feel about this draft? Live on his channel, Philly Take with RB. Go ahead.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy RB, man. Me and Philly Mike up in here. First off, I want to shout out my boy Philly Mike. Hit that 3K last night. Shout out to you, bro. Doing big things. Only 8 months in. And now we're gonna get to the draft, bro. I think overall, Howie, Roseman, and the Eagles, I think they had a good draft. I think it was pretty solid. Outside of that second round pick, we already know what happened. Not a good pick at all. I'll stand by it. Jalen Hurts in the second round is not a good pick. But overall, I think later on we addressed linebacker, we addressed safety, and I think overall we got some guys that can develop. And overall, with the trade for Goodwin, and I think we got some speed in here that we can work with as long as these guys develop. I think Howie kind of redeemed himself late, but I still will not give up on that second round pick. Jalen Hurts in the second round, terrible pick. And in terms of Jalen Reagor, I'm excited about him. I know you were high on him. I'm still kind of upset that we couldn't go up 5 slots to get CeeDee Lamb, but I'm excited with what we got with Reagor. I think he'll work well. Let me get your thoughts, man.
I agree 100%. But before I do that, as you've seen, the people who watch Philly Take with RB, he's been making some crazy killer reaction videos to the Eagles. He's been in this draft as much as he can. He's definitely showed his opinion on some of these drafts, but I want to shout him out too. He just reached 1K, so it's 2, milestones at the same time. Appreciate this guy a lot. Kills it with the Sixers content as he's wearing on his shirt, and he's starting to bring that fire when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. But as you see on his wall, he's just a passionate sports fan when it comes to all Philadelphia sports. But to elaborate to piggyback off what you said, I think everything was solid except for that head scratching middle pick. Most people probably agree that why anybody who even the people that think that this kid is going to be good in the future, he's going to be good. He probably has skills. It just didn't make sense for the here and now. And again, I agree with everybody when it comes to we need a solid backup quarterback. If you don't believe in Nate Sudfeld, I understand, but there's many different ways you can get a solid backup quarterback. And again, a lot of people think that he's talented. He's very athletic, but he needs some work reading defenses. He needs some work in different areas to where if Carson Wentz went down, is he really ready to step in right away? Then a veteran who's been in the league for about 5 to 7 years, that we could have got as well. And my biggest thing is Christian Fulton was on the board. Pair him with Darius Slay, helps the defense. You had AJ Epinesa, you had Zach Bond, a linebacker who could start from day one. You had Denzel Mims. You had a lot of solid players who can come in and play in 2020.
I agree with you. The point about the quarterback is the biggest one for me. It's like, we could go out and get a veteran free agent. I don't understand the people telling me that, Jalen Hurts is going to come in week 5 of the season. Carson Wentz is going to go down with an injury. And they're acting like Jalen Hurts is going to take us to the Super Bowl. Like, no, it's not going to happen in his rookie year. The kid has to develop. And I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he is a solid player. I think they're going to try to utilize him in some different ways. I don't really know what he's going to do. Maybe come in for a wildcat. We know the dude can run. But overall, like you said, for a second round pick to get Jalen Hurts when we could have used that pick to maybe leverage up in the first and go get a guy like CeeDee Lamb. Think about it. We could have finessed Bill O'Brien. We could have sent a second, one of our fourths, and a player and gotten DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe it's not as easy, in hindsight beforehand, but I just don't agree with the pick. Like you said, all these playmakers on the board, and this team has more holes. At the time, like, think about it. We needed a key receiver. Denzel Mims was still on the board. We needed a linebacker. I mean, I just don't agree with it, and I guess we'll get into it in a little while, but the whole thing with Carson Wentz and the controversy that's going to come now, because whatever you think, whether you believe it or not, there's a quarterback controversy again, and it's going to haunt us, I'm telling you.
It definitely is. Let's get some comments. Honestly, to me, I feel like we're keeping JJ based on the second round pick. As for the defense, they probably didn't see the urgent need at that point. Backup quarterback is important, though. I agree. I'm never going to sit there and say that, I'm happy Carson Wentz played 16 games. I am. But I also you got to come to the realization that, and I'm a big believer that, last year was an anomaly because of that way the injury happened and how deep it did happen. But he wasn't available once again. So I'm one of the biggest Carson Wentz supporters, but I'm not going to deny facts. It's factual that he didn't finish the season the last 3 years. But to get a good backup quarterback, you could do it many different ways. You don't have to spend your second round pick. That's what I was saying. The Jets draft James Morgan in the 4th round. You know what I mean? There's many ways you could do something. And again, your backup should be your backup. Hopefully he don't have to come in. But if Carson Wentz goes down and the backup comes in, you want a guy who's NFL ready. Because hopefully Carson Wentz only misses 2 or 3 games, or Carson Wentz misses blah, blah, blah. Carson Wentz ain't going to mix the next 5 years of his career. You know what I mean? So Jalen Hurts comes in, plays a couple games, win or lose. That's where the controversy can start, or any quarterback that comes in and wins. My thing is, you want a veteran who knows NFL defenses, blah, 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 to come in and fill some shoes. A good one. And Jalen Hurts could be a good quarterback. But if Carson Wentz gets injured week 3, he's not ready to just come in. Yeah, he's going to make plays with his feet. He's going to make the big throw arm because he has a big arm. But he does lock onto his first read a lot. And guess who his first read was? CeeDee Lamb. And CeeDee Lamb's going to get open in that conference. There's no defense in that conference. So I'm just saying, the kid is nice. I like the kid. But I can't pick a second round player who's not going to play week 1, week 2. But Philly, handle that real quick. I just got to run 30 seconds to take over the chat. And
I got you. Let's see. Yeah, I can't click on the comments. I'm just going to read them a little bit. Let's see where we're at. What's popping? Extra Trelly, what's up with you? The GOAT, the Eagle got a quarterback, Khalil Tate, as a wide receiver. I did see that. We drafted like 12 undrafted players today, or we signed 12 undrafted players. We're talking about Khalil Tate. The Eagles signed this guy, Khalil Tate. He used to be a quarterback in college, and now they're converting him to a wide receiver. But he was actually a pretty good quarterback in college. Interested to see what they do there. I'm thinking Howie Roseman just has a love affair for quarterbacks at this point. I mean, we could field a whole offense maybe with quarterbacks, Got Greg Ward, Wentz, Jalen Hurts, Khalil Tate. I mean,
nah, but yeah, at the end of the day, look, again, no matter how much I feel about this pick, we represent the Shield, we represent the Eagles, so there's not going to be a thing that the Eagles do that's going to make me not support them. Am I upset? You know how it is. It's a love-hate relationship when you love a team that much, because you want to see them do good, and everybody feels they know best. But at the end of the day, Howie Roseman and that staff is continually getting paid by Jeff Lurie. So it's in his hands. And so, again, I don't want people to say, at the end of the day, I'm going to stick by. If we go into the season and Jalen Hurts is balling out with these, Taysom Hill type plays, he's making progress on the bench, he's learning. Listen, I can get a bunch of I told you so's, but my whole thing is, I know I want the backup quarterback to be somebody who can help us out if needed. I just saw too many people on the board, and especially the way this talent was. Christian Fulton could have been a first-round talent. Some of these guys, Denzel Mims, we talked about getting him in the first. A guy like Zach Bond, or whatever his name is. These guys are late first-round, early second-round talents, and they fell to us. And so that's just my main mindset,
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you say in terms of, like, what if Jalen Hurts does play in the preseason? I think I heard you talk about this the other night, but, like, what if he comes in the preseason and he starts balling out? Then what do you do? I think that's what people are talking about. Like, they really think that Jalen Hurts is going to show that he is becoming a true professional. Like, people think this guy's upside is out of the roof. And what if he comes in here and shows that he can ball? Like, Is he going to be trade bait? Could he end up possibly taking over in a couple years? That's the thing. That's where the hard situation's at, you know? And that's why I don't understand, because Carson Wentz proved himself last year. He showed that he was the man down the stretch. He showed that this is his team. He can lead. He can take over. Like, look who he was throwing the ball to. That was at least my main question. Could he handle that type of pressure? And to me, he did. And with the cheap shot, I know you're right. Like, he hasn't finished a season in 3 years. Even though that cheap shot was kind of, you put any other quarterback in there, they're probably going to get hurt on that play. I like it as insurance. I just think the second round was way too high. Probably could have got him in the third.
Yeah, there's some people who think he went higher than he was supposed to, and I'm not even taking. I don't want to get this taken out of context. A lot of different teams drafting Jalen Hurts. If I was a fan of that team, I'd probably be super excited. And it's not because I'm picking favorites. What I'm trying to do is fill these holes on the team, which I love how we filled some holes on day 3. I love what we were able to do on day 3, but at the end of the day, there was talent in that round next to Jalen Hurts that I thought, could really help this team out. And at the end of the day, I'm with a solid backup quarterback. But again, rookies who are nice in college don't always just come in here and play. And again, if he was, he did really good in 2019 for Oklahoma. But there's things behind him getting benched. There's things behind him doing this and that. And so if he was on another team, do you think he starts day 1? Jordan Love's going to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. Okay, but Aaron Rodgers is older on the way out. My whole thing is this. The pick is already done, and I'm going to support the Philadelphia Eagles. Simple and plain. I would love to see how it pans out. I'm interested to see how it pans out, but I'm just going to follow these other 3 guys' career, the Denzel Mims, the Christian Fulton, the Zach Baum, even the AJ Epinesa. These guys, I'm going to see what they do in 2020 as impact on the respected teams that they're with, So listen, I'm always a person says, and I trust Howie. If you've been watching my channel for the last 8 months, I never bad talk Howie. Some things I don't agree with, but at the end of the day, you don't see eye to eye with anybody. You can't. That's what opinions, and that's what different. It doesn't matter. No one sees eye to eye. A GM who likes this person, they're both getting paid to do their job. They like different people. So we will see what unfolds. But to the chat, let's get some grades in from the chat, and then I'm going to have Philly take with RB grade this draft. A solid A, B, C, or D. You can put some pluses, minus in there too. Chat, let me know what you think in the chat when you look at the whole thing. And you can include Marquise Goodwin with the swap 6th-round picks. What would you grade this draft? Go ahead, RB.
I've actually been thinking about this. I think it's a good question. I think by the end of the draft, if I was to take everything into account, I would probably give him probably a B or a B minus in this draft. I think we definitely did hit on some key players late. Like I said, we got some linebacker depth, which I was actually really interested in, even though there were some better players on the board. But we did get Davion Taylor, and we went and got Sean Bradley, who I think has a good, mentality about him. I think he could end up developing, possibly being a gem. We go and get Quez Watkins, a guy that you've highly coveted. I liked that a lot. I thought that was a nice pick. Goodwin, I've heard about him too, and he's fast. I really hope that he can stay healthy. That is what I'm hoping for. We like you said, we want to get younger and we want to get quicker. And I think Howie did address that I think this was the first time in a while that the third day was the best day for the Eagles. Like, we had a good third day. We picked up some quality people. Kavon Wallace, he's a dog at safety. He's going to be all around that field. He's going to be in coverage. He's going to be in the nickel. You can drop him down in the box. I think he's a good pick. And if he lives up to anything close to what Malcolm Jenkins was or Brian Dawkins was, I think it'll pan out well. So I would give Howie probably a B or a B minus in this draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a solid B. I love the day 3 additions to this team. I'm a fan of Jalen Reagor too. I think he's more than just a small speed guy. He's 5'11", but he plays like he's 6'3". When I look, again, I'm gonna rock with a B. And The chat's been keeping it pretty consistent. We got a lot of B's, a lot of A's. You got a couple C's, but it's looking like the low A, middle B-ish is what the chat looks like. One of the questions that came up by Peter Thurman said, what do you guys think? What pick do you guys like the most? My answer would be Kavon Wallace. I just think in the 4th round, getting him, he could have been a late second, early, I'm thinking more thirdish, but the dude can ball, and I love that he was there in the 4th round for the Philadelphia Eagles to take. So that's one of my favorite signings. Now, I'm not saying he's the best one, but I'm looking at the value of this player and where we got him from, where we got him at. I think that was a really good pickup. How about you?
I would probably tend to lean the same way. One of my favorite picks, I'm not saying he was the best talent, was the Quez Watkins pick in the 6th. I thought that was a nice pick late, a guy that, like I said, you've talked about a lot, and it just adds on to that speed core. I'm really interested to see, what our idea is or what our identity is going into the season. Like right now we have like 10, 12, 14 receivers who are, scheduled to be on the roster. Are we going to get rid of Alshon? Is JJ Arcega-Whiteside going to be there? I really don't know what they're going for. I think they're going for speed, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know. Do you think Alshon or Arcega is going to be on the team come September, October if we're playing football?
If we're playing football, I think Alshon will be on a team, but I think he's going to be on IR. If he's on IR, he don't hold a spot at the receiver position. Now you get him off IR at week 8, depending on who was working out, who was not working out. If any of these guys do some Mac Hollins to us, of course, that will be the first one to get off the squad. But again, going into it about 7 receivers, now we have more than 7, but that's if you add in the Rob Davises, the Deontay Burnett's, which they did come up clutch for us at the end of the season, but they would be the first to go back to the practice squad and or off the squad before, an Alshon, before a JJ Arcega-Whiteside, which you used a 2nd round pick on. But I think the Eagles, with this new rule, the new CBA, how you can hold an extra 2 or 4 players totally or something. I think the Eagles are going to go in this season with 6 receivers. Now we got a lot of speed guys. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to find the best speed guys to make something happen. And Marquise Goodwin, I think, is going to get a shot. But like you said, the guy got to stay healthy. He had a pretty good season in 2017. Prior to that, he's just been speed, unreliable hands. But he's fast. He ran like a 4.27 when he was legit, man. He's always throws shade at Tyreek Hill, to race him playing around. I still would take Tyreek Hill in a foot race. That's just me. But at the end of the day, we got to having a lot of receivers going into this football season is something that we should be happy about, because coming out of football season last year, we didn't have many receivers and we had to go get some from the practice squad. So it's a good thing. And I think it pushes a guy like John Hightower, Quez Watkins, even Marquise Goodwin, Greg Ward Jr., JJ Arcega-Whiteside to say, look, there's a lot of people here. If I don't show that I should be here, I might not be here.
I agree. I think honestly it's going to be a dogfight come, preseason when we start getting into the real, thin and thick of it. I don't know, man. I don't know who's going to make this roster. I still think Alshon's going to get cut. I don't think he's going to be here. I thought they were going to try to trade him during the draft.
Well, here's the thing. I did a video a while back, and still June 1st, we got to wait till June 1st. If you can't cut this guy before June 1st, or you're really hurting, June 1st is where it starts that, you can possibly make a move to cut him. If you cut him now, it's going to be a lot more than June 1st. But still, I think if you can keep him around some way and get rid of him in 2021, it will really help money-wise. And or if you can just get this guy healthy, improve health, it shows his trade value up. Because, would we love to trade him? Yeah, but who wants to trade a 30-year-old? Who wants to take an expensive 30-some-year-old with a Liz Frank? That's a lot of baggage. And I'm a person that says if he could ever get healthy, he'd be pretty good, but that's a big if.
Yeah, he's like what, 15 mil to the Cat next season, I think, somewhere around there.
It's a lot. Dump Alshon and Rasul, and for Yannick, the Jags are shopping him without a doubt because they drafted his replacement. Interesting, but yeah, there's still going to be a lot of moves made.
That was surprising to see. Well, not surprising, I guess. The Jags went CJ Henderson at 9. I honestly thought CD was going to go in the top 11, top 13. What do you think? Like, what do you think about him falling all the way down to 17?
Who? CD?
CD Lamb.
I thought he was going to go. I didn't think no receiver was going to go in the top 10. That was my pick. If any of them would have went, it would have been CD. I would have thought. The way he fell just shows how, everybody was prioritizing, the offensive tackles, a couple, star defensive players, because again, everybody must have felt the same way, that this draft is so deep at wide receiver. Even though CD Lamb is a very good talent, if we get a great defensive player who we can't get later in the draft, we can still get a quality receiver. So I think a lot of teams went with that, a lot of depth. I mean, look at but it's crazy how KJ Hamler, Claypool, they all went off the board before Denzel Mims, and a lot of people were high on him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even like the first round, the order that they went off, like Ruggs went to the Raiders. He was the first one off the board. I feel like he climbed up like later on in the draft process, 'Cause I feel like teams really view him as like a Tyreek Hill kind of identical right there.
I don't know if CD would be happy to be there. I mean, he's a Texas guy, so he might. I'm glad Eagle fans aren't GMs. A rookie has a bad year, and now y'all want to cut him or put him on the practice squad. There's no way how he cuts a second round. Yeah, listen, here's my whole take on J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Did he do anything that we wanted him to do? No. But you cannot judge even the worst season you can have. Being a rookie still is being a rookie. I will not give up on the kid. I won't hold my breath necessarily, but you cannot give up on a second round pick this early, because even if you feel some type of way about him, that's your credibility. I mean, you can't take a guy in the second round, right? He looks like a bust so far. He's coming out not playing up to even half of what we thought he could do. If he would have had maybe 25, 30 catches, you could, justify it. But if you decide to give up on him, you loved him from his college tape, you see 1 year, you give up on him, and then he performs somewhere else, you look very bad. You know what I mean? You have to have, and that's what the rookie contract's for. That's why you have him for 3-4 years before you make your decision. Now, if J.J. Arcega-Whiteside plays bad for the next 2 years, Howie's job was to say, I made a mistake. I got 3 years of evidence. Bye. But you can't get rid of him now, because then you got a team like the Patriots who pick him up, and he's Chris Hogan. Look, Chris Hogan was bad with the Bills.
What do you think the effect is that our new receivers coach is going to have on these dudes? Moorhead.
Inside the Eagle organization, they talk highly of him. I don't know him as a what he can bring to the wide receiver. I mean, he wasn't really that good in his own career, but you don't have to be, a Randy Moss to teach people technique and stuff. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He can't be any worse than Carson Walsh. So, but at the end of the day, I could never judge J.J. Arcega-Whiteside off of 1 year. It wasn't pretty. You had guys like Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuels, a lot of these rookies, receivers, play pretty good, give something, bring something to the table. And, there was a couple of things Bright he did at the end of the year against the Cowboys and the Giants. So just got to build off that. But, you can't really talk about anybody in the first year, because, there's a lot of people that if you go down the line, you can find a lot of bad receivers or bad positional players, skill players who came in very slow and changed it. But as a GM, you got to give. That's why you don't get a rookie. The next year, you don't have to pay him. They got a rookie contract for a reason. You got to fill them out.
Right. I just feel like this draft kind of showed me that Howie is kind of going all in on receivers. Like, we get Rager and Goodwin, and then we go 2 receivers on day 3 in addition to that trade. I mean, I just feel like they're trying to get a whole bunch of competition in that locker room. They're trying to motivate guys. who's going to step up and be that dude?
Tell us who's going to be Dean CeeDee Lamb when we play him. Go ahead. You can take that first, RB.
If we're presuming, are we presuming that he lines up in the slot or?
Let's just say, I don't know exactly because, I would not want to.
I don't know, man. I would probably go with Maddox, but it's still a long shot. I'm not really sure. I mean, that's why I thought we were going to address corner on, day 3 sometime, maybe snatch a couple corners. I don't really know who's going to fight for that other position. I know Sidney Jones, I don't want to give up on him, but I think this is kind of his last year to, show us something. Rasul, I don't even know if he's going to be here. Maddox, he's shown us at times. He's shown us glimpses of what he can do. I feel, and then we got Roby Coleman, so I think he'll be in a nickel. Maybe him actually.
Here's my take. CeeDee Lamb is a guy who can come in and play the X position or play any position on a team and automatically be a number one. Now, I'm not saying I said automatically, so I did kind of say it. He has number one talent now, but at the end of the day, he has to prove it. So say the Eagles play the Cowboys week. Just say it's not right away. So we played it. When do we play the Cowboys? Does anybody know right away off the top of the head? That didn't come out right yet?
I don't think so. I'm guessing we're going to play him late in the season once.
We'll just say we play him by week 5. Darius Slay is going to guard the Cowboys receiver who is the most productive. At the end of the day, it presents a challenge because Darius Slay is going to follow, chase, shadow, however you want to call it, the best receiver on each team we go against, which that to me is going to help a guy like Avonte Maddox if he's on the outside, or a guy like Sidney Jones, because, there's been games where Sidney Jones gets cooked by Devontae Adams or Amari Cooper, forced to play the number one receiver after going through everything he went through with the Achilles, the hamstrings, the, second guessing himself, the benching, all that stuff. Cornerback is one of the hardest positions to play. It is. You got to have a short-term memory and all that good stuff. So I think just having Darius Slay always be the number one receiver is going to help a guy like Sidney Jones always get a number 2. Avonte Maddox always get a number 2. And Nickel Roby Coleman can hold his own in the slot.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what Marquand Manuel does with the D-backs and Jim Schwartz especially. I think Howie really went all in on defense and free agency, and I hope that we're going to see a lot more, blitz packages. I hope that we're going to get pressure and we don't leave our corners on an island. I mean, I know Slay can play on an island, but we're going to have to come up with something. I don't want to see people getting beat deep every Sunday,
Yeah, the getting beat deep. I mean, Jim Schwartz doesn't help. Literally, no pun intended. He doesn't help by putting help over the top. But it's going to be interesting how we see, I want to see what a Kevon Wallace can do. He's talking real tough on Twitter. I love that. He got that Philly energy, already saying a lot of teams passed up on me. You're going to regret that. Already talking about Philly. Let's get ready to get to the Super Bowl. So I love the energy he's bringing. That's what Philadelphia is all about. The underdog mentality, the, next man up, the never give up. Like, we don't shy away from guys like that. And so I think he's going to bring a lot in that, young player who can, and again, he can do what Malcolm does, not like talent wise, but I'm saying he loves to play close to the line of scrimmage. He loves to play in the box. He's very good at jumping routes, ball skills. He got to work on his man coverage a little bit, but, and remember, Sidney Jones is on his rookie year. So it's like a do or die, now or never type situation with him.
Yep. What do you think about the NFC East right now? Like, where would you put the Cowboys and the Eagles? Because I think the Cowboys also had a good draft, and I think the Eagles redeemed ourselves late. But I'm telling you, like, the Cowboys, they got that center after they traded with us for that pick. They got a nice D tackle. Obviously, they have CeeDee Lamb. I think the Cowboys had a solid draft. But where would you stack them up in the NFC East right now?
I still think it's a 2-team race, to be honest. I mean, the Giants and the Redskins did add a lot of talent to this team. The Redskins defensive line is going to be pretty dang good. The best part of their defense was already the defensive line, adding Chase Young. He knows who. But I still think right now the Giants and Redskins are going to, do better than last year. But I do think it's a 2-team race. What is your take on this comment right here? Is Davion Taylor a sub linebacker or a starter this year?
I would probably go for a sub linebacker, but I'm telling you, like within a year or two, I think he's going to develop. I was actually reading about him, how, he didn't even start playing football till he was like 17, 18 years old. Kid's going to take some time to develop, but when he does, I honestly think that he could fill a role for us. And I honestly, right now, I don't know who's going to be playing linebacker. Is it going to be Nathan Gary? Is it going to be, I mean, who knows? Are we going to re-sign Bradham? I've heard that a lot. I don't know. Jatavis Bryant.
Yeah, it's tough because, like I said, we don't got no true Mike in there. I mean, it looks like TJ Edwards played the Mike position last year when we didn't have many people. There's already rumors coming out about could we sign Nigel Bradham again? Not saying he's talented, and he's definitely injury prone. But the main reason we let him go last year is because he's getting older. We wanted to get younger, but he was about to be very expensive, like a $10 million deal. At the end of the day, he didn't get picked up by no team. 10 millions, he would love to have that, but now $1 million sounds better than zero. So who really knows? I think Takeem Hilton said Nathan Gary and TJ Edwards are the starters. Yeah, because we don't play too much, 3 linebackers. We like to keep 2 linebackers on the field and have that extra safety, that extra corner. Jim Schwartz, his philosophy is rush the passer with 4 and play coverage. That's what he wants to do.
I don't like that.
Huh?
I think we need to send more blitzes, man.
Well, it depends on your personnel. If you got guys, if you got a front 4 that can get at the passer, you don't need it. You only need to do what is going to frustrate a quarterback. So sometimes it's sending an extra guy, but also, that's where it is. It's a game of chess. You send a lot of players, right? The quarterback knows and gets his first read, or there's a lot of things he do. He get the ball out to a guy right away, and then they make something happen. So it's all scheme ridden, but that's his philosophy. And if you have Fletcher Cox at his fullest, Derek Barnett at his fullest, like potential. Now Javon Clowney in the middle, Brandon Graham getting older, but he's no slouch. They should be able to cause havoc by themselves, but we'll have to see. But appreciate the super chat, Hannibal, the G. Okay, I started to love Hurts pick. Remember Hawks game when Wentz went down? We have a great backup. Listen, dude's talented. I'm going to support him as a Philadelphia Eagle, no matter my feelings in it. That's nothing against this kid. I don't want to be on record saying he's not good. I just think as a backup quarterback, you don't get picked with the 53rd overall pick. As a backup quarterback, you just don't go at 53. That's just what I think. And I also believe in the fact that before this whole process, there was guys out there who could be a veteran and start. And again, 5 years from now, Jalen Hurts will probably be better than all these backups I can name, like the Keenums and the Mariotas and the Cam Newtons and the Jameis Winstons. I'm not saying he is, but he could be. He got potential. But it's hard to, again, Carson Wentz goes down week 2. You're not bringing in there a guy who's NFL ready because he's a rookie and he didn't get even the first team reps all through training camp. He didn't get the first team reps all through preseason. So, rookies that come in, I don't know. At the end of the day, he's a Philadelphia Eagle. So welcome to Philly, Jalen Hurts.
I agree with you. I'm going to support the guy. I respect him. I think was a solid college player, but I just don't understand it. Like from an Eagles perspective, like we know Howie Roseman knows what this team has gone through the past couple years. When Nick Foles was here, you got one half on this side, one half on this side, and he finally he goes, and now we're back in the same situation because you already know the Foles lovers are going to be in here talking as soon as Carson Wentz, like you said, has a bad game, or as soon as Carson Wentz has a sprained ankle, everyone's going to be calling for Jalen Hurts. And then what do?
Yeah. And, these are professionals. And like I said, I don't want nobody to get it twisted. It's not like I'm trying to like baby Carson Wentz. If the best players should play at any position, no matter what. It's just, I don't think Jalen Hurts is 100% ready when it comes to reading defenses, making sure you can go through your progressions. I mean, maybe it's because he has CeeDee Lamb, but he doesn't like to get off his first read. But if you have CeeDee Lamb, why would you, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, but do you think there's anything more behind this? Like, I honestly feel deep down inside, like, it's kind of a slap in the face to Carson. It's kind of like, we know what you can do. We just don't trust you. I just think the Eagles organization might be at a point where they just will not trust this guy. He's entering his prime. He showed us, like I said, down the stretch last season that he can be the man, that he can do it. But I just think they don't trust him anymore. I don't. And they don't give him the respect that they gave Nick Foles. I know I said that to you the other night, but I'm just going to stick by that. I just don't think they give him the same respect. That's just my personal opinion.
I agree 100%. And this is a very good point right here. The point being, let's go in Jalen Hurts' head, right? So in Jalen Hurts' head, it's like this. Okay, I had some struggles in college, right? Boom. But I proved that I go to Oklahoma, I start, I have a great season. I have the tangibles of the locker room. I'm a leader. The guys love me. You can ask all these people. You know, he see quarterbacks go in the second round, third round, fourth. He just saw what Dak Prescott did. Dak Prescott was a fourth round pick, got in there, took Tony Romo's job, and started. Right? Now, I'm not saying he thinks he's going to take Carson Wentz's job, but as a question stage, Philly Fan D, do you think Hurts is happy with this? Does it make sense for him? Nobody wants to get drafted as a backup automatically. Nobody does. Why would you? You know, especially if you feel like, you know, you were runner up for the Heisman, or you were close in the voting for Heisman. You feel confident in yourself. You know, you want to be that dude, that alpha, the leader. So it's really honest. I wonder how he feels about it. Now, at the end of the day, he's not going to say, don't draft me second. You know, don't draft me at 53. I mean, there's been players who go to Cleveland Browns and the older Cleveland Browns and said, listen, I'll still be that first round pick. Forget it. You know, Johnny Football, bless his soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he's happy. I don't think deep down inside he's happy. I mean, he's happy to be drafted, but he knows that most likely for this year, unless Carson Wentz goes down early in the season, he's probably going to be holding a clipboard for the entire season. He wants to go somewhere where he can compete for that starting job right away. That's why I really thought the Steelers were going to take him a few picks before we did. But they didn't. He slid, and I saw people that were saying he might have fell to the third. I really think he might have, honestly. No other quarterbacks even went on day 2. It was just Jalen Hurts.
Appreciate the super chat, Hannibal G. Again, I mean, Hurts needs work, but we can use him as a wide receiver. I mean, I think if they really use him, if they use him in packages and do all this tricks plays, I just hope it works out. But at the end of the day, real quick, this one, the Eagles draft a quarterback every year. The only difference is they draft a quarterback early that has potential. It was a good pick. I understand that. But what I was saying is I agree. They draft a quarterback every year, but it's not as bad when you waste a later pick. And I'm not saying this is a wasted pick like this, but my thing is this. If Carson Wentz, like Philly Take what RB just said, if he stays healthy, Denzel Mims is on the field. Zach Bond for the Saints now is on the field. Christian Fulton for the Titans is on the field. AJ Epinesa, who I forgot where he went, he's on the field. They're getting production out of these players. The only way we're getting production out of him is maybe as a gadget player, and I hope he works out as a gadget player, and or Carson Wentz goes down. But again, do you think he's ready? Carson Wentz goes down week 3. Is he ready to command an NFL offense? And that's where people think that he's potentially really good, athletic, you know, got that dog in him, but he has some mechanic things that he has to fix still. And so if he had to fix it at the college level, you know, the NFL is a much faster game. But hey, he's a Philadelphia Eagle, so I'm never going to bash this dude. I just got in my head the guys that I see that could have came in and got impact right away. So it is what it is, though. Charles Smith, appreciate the super chat, $4.99. I believe they drafted Hurts because of Howie regrets missing out on Russell Wilson and taking Nick Foles in the draft. Interesting. See. Carson is the best man. Agreed, Bergang. I wanted Mims. Oh, let's get this on. Devin Dixon, you wanted instant gratification. Relax, he's good. And at the end of the day, listen, I mean, I've never came on and said, no, this is the most horriblest pick in the world. I just said I couldn't do it at 53 with players who can help this team. But look, you know, I wish Jalen Hurts nothing but success. I would love for him to be Taysom Hill 2.0 while he's learning how to be a quarterback. I want him to develop. I got no hate for the guy. At the end of the day, Carson Wentz I support him. Why? The most important reason I support Carson Wentz is because he's a Philadelphia Eagle. That's why. If Carson Wentz got traded, would I still remember what he did for the Eagles and stuff like that? Yes. But Eagle, support. McNabb, support. Kevin Cobb, support. Troy Detmer, support. Jeff Garcia, support. Mike Vick, support. Vince Young that year, support. Sam Bradford, support. You should just support any Eagle who's on the team. So we're going to ride with that, with the Jalen Hurts stuff.
Yeah, I agree. That's where it comes in. Like, I don't understand all the hate that Carson gets. Like, he is the man here. He's the franchise player. We got to treat him with some respect. And I like Hurts. I hope he pans out, just like you said, in a Taysom Hill type of role. Eventually, I think he probably will end up going to another team, or it might be used as trade bait. I just don't want the quarterback controversy to stir up once again, because here we will be finding ourselves in the same situation that we were in just 2-3 years ago. And it's going to create even more of a split in terms of the fans, in my opinion.
And to really end this, and let's move to we got so many other picks. We're going to get into a lot more other picks and whatnot. But to just finish up on this topic, I also want the best thing for Jalen Hurts too. So at the end of the day, just say Carson Wentz, stays healthy and we get to the playoffs and he is 2017 Carson Wentz, and Jalen Hurts is learning a lot for him. Just say, let's look at two different glasses. If in the next 3 years, Jalen Hurts only is a gadget player and Carson Wentz, again, Drew Brees was an injury prone quarterback. And then he got a really bad injury to his shoulder. And they said, I'm sorry, bro, you're talented like Carson Wentz, but we can't take the risk no more. You got to go. Then he goes to the Saints and he never misses no more time, except for last year. But he went on like a 10-year or 8-year window without missing any time. Long story short, in 3 years from now, Jalen Hurts can never touch the field, or he could be the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. But I know he has to be at home right now thinking, dang, I want to play in 2020 as the guy. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to come to a team knowing deep down they got heart and I know they got potential, So
yep.
That's just me.
You're right. I mean, I agree. I just didn't like the pick at, where we took him, like you said. But as you alluded to, we had a pretty decent draft outside of that. We picked up some key players, guys who I think could be late round gems. What position do you think we addressed the best in the draft?
The position that I think is going to be able to come in and make the impact right away is, I got to go with one of our first round picks with Jalen Reagor, because it was a necessity we had. He's going to be the most polished receiver that we picked up. He's going to get the first opportunity to do something alongside of Deshaun Jackson and whoever the other person is. Right now, we know two things. Jalen Reagor and Deshaun Jackson are going to be guys on his team that's going to be first options at the wide receiver position. Everybody else is going to find their role. But I am really happy with the Kevon Wallace pick. I just think secondary can always be helped. It's a passing league. I think he was a second or third round talent. We got him in the fourth. I think it was a great pick. How about you?
I would probably go the same. I like the Kevon Wallace pick. Reagor too. I'm interested to know how Wallace is going to be used. Like, what do you think we do at safety? Is Jalen Mills going to start? Is McLeod going to start? Do we plug Kevon Wallace in? What do we do? Do we rotate these guys around? I don't know. I think we got a lot to work with, though.
I agree. But 2020 Visions appreciate this constant support. But yeah, now remember, this is live on 2 channels. We got it live on the Philly Talk podcast, and we are live on Philly Take with RB. With that being said, all the people in the chat right now, we have combined 229 people watching. If you can just do us a quick solid favor, it doesn't take but a second to hit the X button to get off the live chat for a second, smash that like button and come back in, and let's keep chatting about the Philadelphia Eagles making their way to still win the NFC East. And that's another thing I want to touch on. In the last decade, no team in the NFC East won back-to-back division championships or division champions. The Eagles went to the playoffs 3 years in a row, but it's been division, wild card, division. Every team in the NFC East in the last 10 years did not get to taste a division championship twice. How are we going to get there? like, again, we talked about the Cowboys being, I think the Cowboys are our biggest threat. How do you feel about us repeating as division champs? And who is our biggest competition in the NFC East again?
I could see it coming down definitely down to the wire. I think we play the Cowboys late in the season. That could end up being the deciding factor. But let me tell you, I really do think that this is the year the Eagles break the curse. I think this is the year that the Eagles overcome that and we win the division. I know Dallas hit on a lot of key pieces in the draft, but let me tell you, that defense still needs some work. And I'm not saying the Eagles don't either, but with what Carson Wentz showed me last year, and now we're about to give him these speed demons, let me tell you, Carson Wentz, people aren't believing in him. He's about to explode this year. He's throwing over 40 touchdowns. He's going off this year. And I'm telling you guys right now, you're going to be believers in Carson Wentz. As long as he doesn't get hurt by the end of the year, like you said, I think it's a 2-team race. Don't give me this Redskins crap. Don't give me these Giants. No, it's the Eagles and the Cowboys. It's going to come down late in the season. I see the Eagles as a 10 or 11 win team, but I think this is the year that we go and take back-to-back division titles. What do you think?
I'm with it. And like I said, I can't fathom the fact that, there hasn't been at least one back-to-back, division title. But I think so. Again, we were able, when we came into the year of 2019, the first takes, the undisputed. I mean, a lot of people had the Eagles as a Super Bowl contender. Why? Because they thought that Carson Wentz was going to get back to 2017 for him. And what prevented him for that was, a lot of these, I was not a believer in Mike Groh and Carson Walsh and all that. I wasn't a believer in this medical staff. I mean, we suffered a lot of injuries. Whenever the offense looked pretty good, the defense was holy. When the defense started shaping up, the offense was holy. If we can just get 80% health throughout the year, we're going to miss some guys. It's football. You can't go out. You can't not have no injuries. But we got to stay healthy. We got a track team. We got to get the best track players and best players in general, because you could be as fast as you want to be. You still got to catch the ball. You still got to run routes. They're not going to we're not throwing Hail Marys every single play. I mean, it sounds good, but we're not. I'm very interested to see how the wide receiver room shakes out with the CBA giving extra players. I do think we're going to carry 5 at the least. I think we're going to maybe carry 6 receivers. So should be interesting, but I agree with you, Philly. Take with RB. We gonna win back to back.
And don't forget about all these other weapons we got. We got Miles Sanders in the backfield. I'm excited to see what Boston Scott does. Yo, he's going to be very useful this year. Boston Scott reminds me of Darren Sproles. We got 2 tight ends who, in my opinion, are top 5. I mean, it's all laid out for this team to be successful. Like you said, it's just pending health. The last 2 years, I've never seen so many injuries to a football team. Like, we were literally down to nobody last year. 2 players playing the whole season. Come on now.
I told you, Daddy. Daddy, I told you.
Hold on one second. Here you go.
Stuck up in there.
Shut the door. Shut the door.
What?
Shut the door.
Okay.
All right, let's get back. So, so what were we saying again?
I was just saying how, I think from last year not having, only 2 players play the whole season without getting injured. I think this year, all the talent we have, the offensive weapons, we got the receivers, the speedy guys, but we also have 2 top 5 tight ends, in my opinion. We have Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. I want to see a lot of 12 personnel. And we have Miles Sanders and Boston Scott in the backfield. Like, all the weapons are laid out for Carson Wentz and this team to be successful. They just got to stay healthy.
I agree. And again, when you look at the fact of 12-man personnel, and we have speed around the 12-man personnel. So you got your guys like Dallas Goedert, who can be the chain mover, Zach Ertz, who are the chain movers, the guys who are going to run the curl routes. They're going to run the crossing routes. They're going to, but this is the thing. With speed on the field, these safeties can't creep down. But they're not being able to creep down. You get any of these 2, Dallas Goedert and or Zach Ertz, matched up on a linebacker, even a small corner, a nickel, they're going to eat. They're going to eat the one-on-one matchups. And a lot of people talk about Carson Wentz not being, being more conservative, not willing to just throw the ball up and let their guy get it. He started doing that at the end of the year, even though it was with practice squad players, because you just need that trust. You just need that, 2 or 3 games of continuity. He threw a couple bad boys up to Rob Davis, said, go get it. He threw some up to Deontay Barnett, said, go get it. Even JJ Arcega-Whiteside at the end, that Giants play, a crucial catch that JJ caught right on the sidelines, he was able to do that. And he wasn't doing that with, the Alshon Jeffrey and certain things. But again, it was in a game, out of game, in a game, out of game. So I think Carson Wentz, is going to be able to really grow with these guys. Again, all the rookies we got, it does suck that this whole virtual training camp and all that. I don't know how that's going to be able to play an impact on, especially how we got our receivers in the 5th round, in the 6th round. So these guys got potential, but they need to get that, technique. They need to get continuity. They need a lot of things. And, COVID-19 is going to kind of slow that down.
Yep. And we're the only team in the NFC East returning with the same coach. So, that's always good.
Yeah, man. Come on. We can't put people on timeout for liking Jalen Hurts. Like I said, no matter how we feel about him, he's a Philadelphia Eagle, but someone put him on timeout for liking Jalen Hurts. I don't know who did that. So at this point, we're on StreamYard, so I can't really see right now who has wrenches and whatnot, or at least on my channel, unless I look on Facebook, YouTube. But So how? If you had to, again, we know what the schedule looks like, which is a pretty tough schedule. But we don't know exactly where we play people, when we play people, and that matters too. Back-to-back games against good teams, that always changes some things. And again, the injuries. If we can come out of this season at least 80% healthy, I think we'll be pretty good.
Yeah, I just see everyone taking a big step this year. And like you said, with Carson, throwing, going more into those big plays, I think they're going to give him more freedom in terms of, what he can do at the line. I feel like they really started to do that down the stretch when they saw that he was trying to take over. I just think he's going to go off this year. I really do.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have a chance to take a step up. I think Carson Wentz, one thing about Carson Wentz that we don't talk about, at the end of this season, the coaching staff, who is all gone except for Doug and, Jeff Stoutland and Deuce Staley and some of them guys, Press Taylor, but Mike Groh, Carson Wentz, all that, we started rolling him out more. He was second to Russell Wilson with passer rating outside the pocket on rollouts. And I do like Rich Scanganello. He's a guy who designs a lot of rollouts. We got to use him more that way. And also Doug Peterson was letting this guy, I don't know if it was Doug letting him or Carson Wentz just doing it. He was doing a lot more audible at the line, really finding his own with these practice squad players. So I like the fact that he was being able to be used on his own more, and that can transition to 2020 if we can play.
I want to get your opinion on, because you talk about these rollouts and stuff. Honestly, there are some Eagles fans out there that will tell you they don't want Carson Wentz moving around too much because he's injury prone, because he's likely and he's more susceptible to these big hits. What do you think about that? And then I'll give you my opinion.
I don't care about him moving around. It's just the unnecessary hits he takes. Again, he dove forward in the Seattle game. Even though earlier in the season, he dove for a touchdown and was down at the 2 because now the new rule is if you dive, you're still giving yourself up for quarterbacks. So maybe he used that and said it's still a safe play. But he has to make sure that if a guy's coming, live to play another down, take a sack. Take a incompletion, throwing it out to the sideline if you're not in the pocket. Just because you roll out, don't mean you have to try to truck the next guy in front of you. You can still roll out. No one's open. The thing is, Carson Wentz throws better when he's on the run, or he creates more. I don't know. He gets a little happy-footed in the pocket, regardless of why he does it. Just because you roll out don't mean you have to take the hit. You have to then run for 10 yards and not go out of bounds, and just stop taking the unnecessary hits. And I think we'll be fine. How about you?
I think Carson Wentz is in his element when he's moving around, doing these things that only few quarterbacks can do. I don't want to just turn him into a pocket passer. I want him to be on the move. But like you said, he's got to slide in certain situations. He he has to be smart with his own body, you know, because he is getting older. And even though he's about to enter his prime, I don't want to see him go down with another injury. I feel like we're at that point. He's almost been injured every single year, pretty much every year back to college. I know that his rookie year he had the ribs or whatever, but I don't know. I hope he stays healthy, man, because his potential is high, very high.
Cash face, my guy. Wentz plays with reckless abandonment. This is why Hurts is here now. Yeah, and so he has to have the aggressive mindset. He just has to make sure he doesn't. Again, you roll out. You can scramble for 3 yards and get hit, or you can just throw it away and live to play another down. Take the throw it away and live to play another down. You just what has to happen at this point. If he never got hurt, go ahead, run him over if you can, because Carson Wentz is tough, man. He's tracked down a lot of people and did his thing when like a turnover's there. I seen him hit that year he hit Miles Jack. I think Miles Jack got an interception or a fumble. Woo, he laid him out. 4-4 Philly fan, appreciate the super chat. I can't see the Eagles losing to this division. I like the way you think, my guy.
Hey,
like
shout out 444. That's my guy, man. Everyone in here, go sub him up. He's a good Philly YouTuber on the come up. Always consistent on the grind, producing some great Philly content. Go ahead and sub him up. That's my dude.
Appreciate the super chat, Charles Smith. When Howie got on the clock, he yelled out, kill, kill, audible, the pick. Oh, my. You always kill me out. Anyways, like I said, this draft was very interesting. Like I said, I've been an Eagle fan my whole life, but again, I've only been doing YouTube since the very first day of this season. And so this is the first time I'm going through the draft with all you guys. And like I said, this draft was a very controversial draft. We all always were knowing that Howie can go a lot different than what is, the necessary needs and or the favorite thing to do, what's going on in the media. Eagles are going to get this guy, this guy, this guy. Howie doesn't get none of them. That's just what he does. But, we just got to wait and see. A lot of people wanted to Justin Jefferson over to Jalen Reagor. A lot of people are still baffled about a Jalen Hurts. A lot of people, don't understand that offensive tackle as the second, fourth round pick. But let's see how it plays out. As Philadelphia Eagle fans, there's a reason that Jeff Lurie's keeping this guy around. And when you look at the division, we have a lot more success than a lot of these teams in the last 20 years. I mean, the Giants got 2 Super Bowls, but yeah,
I think we'll be all right. I think, like I said, Howie had a decent draft outside of that bad pick. He redeemed himself. I would have liked another dude there, but overall, I think he got some guys that are gonna, compete for roles and step in. And I think he did all right. And if you take that and then you take free agency into account, I think he's had a decent offseason. I think we're putting ourselves in position. I know the whole narrative was that we're trying to rebuild, at the beginning of this offseason. I don't. I just think we just got younger and we got quicker and we're cutting some cap here and there. I think we're ready to contend again. That's just me.
I think so too, especially when you have a division that's favorable, And again, I looked at this whole season as more of a retooling, not a rebuilding. Rebuilding is you're breaking it all down. You don't rebuild with a franchise quarterback. You rebuild when you're tanking to get a franchise quarterback. And, however we feel about the Jalen Hurts thing. But Jameer McNeil, appreciate the super chat, my guy. Trying to be optimistic. Hurts will make us more stacked at all positions. We will be good and fast. Still don't agree with it, but that's a good way to stay optimistic. It's a very good way to stay optimistic. I seen a comment in here real quick that caught my eye. Money Mitch, great draft. Great draft. If you don't look at the rounds the players were picked at. So if you just say this is the players you got, he's thinking that it's a great draft if you don't necessarily look at that,
I agree with that.
Not from Philly exactly. How did I know that? I'm not sure what that was in context to. Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't got to be, fans that, there's fans all over the world that represent the Philadelphia Eagles, man. As long as you care about the Eagles, you don't got to necessarily be in that area. It all depends where how long you've been rocking with them. I mean, if you're just coming on here in 2017, I understand, man, maybe not. But, there's fans all over the world. The Eagles are building a team to beat the Ravens and Kansas City. Those are the teams of the future. Fast. We practiced against Ravens last season, and KC won the Super Bowl. Interesting. What do you think about that, Philly take, RB?
I would agree with that. I think, we're trying to get faster. And I think because of last season in particular, because we saw Alshon getting old and he's getting injured and guys are slow, they're not running routes sharp enough. So I think that's what Howie's trying to do with this whole draft, not even just at wide receiver, but in general. I think we're just trying to get younger and quicker. That's why he let Malcolm go. I mean, that's just my opinion. He's trying to save money.
I agree with, saving money and trying to, save money in the process of getting his team better. Like I said, I think the Darius Slay pick is, people respect that, but I think it's, I don't think people realize how big it is. I think he's going to be able to do some stuff. I know we feel like we get cornerbacks that are good and something happens, but, trends are always meant to be broken. Records are meant to be broken. Trends are meant to be broken. So it should. He said,
I'm excited for Slay, man. I'm excited. It's about time. That's all I can say. It's about time. We have that dominant corner. Like, they're not throwing the ball that side of the field. And if they do, Slay will be on top of it. Big play Slay.
Big play Slay. I mean, yeah, I like Slay a lot. And at the end of the day, the way this league is passing league now, Jalen Ramsey, great corner. He gets beat. I mean, you're not a cornerback that don't get beat. The thing, good cornerbacks just don't get beat often. But every cornerback gets beat for something. It's just the way the game is. It's a passing league. You're going to get beat. You just can't get beat all the time. Nobody locks up. Like Jalen Ramsey, goes against Julio Jones. He gets the best of him sometimes. There's games like that. Just got to have that short-term memory, and you got to be able to play within a scheme. Jim Schwartz is going to be able to use Darius Slay, and at least we got a guy that we feel more comfortable not putting a safety over the top. But, you heard what Randy Moss said when Darrelle Revis was locking him up. He's like, yeah, it's easy to play up pressed up against me when you got someone over the top. You know how their beefs were, Randy Moss and Darrelle Revis, but it always goes. It's cool. I love a shutdown corner. You can do more things with your defense when you have one of them guys.
Yep.
Appreciate the super chat, George Redden. All this controversy between Carson and Jalen is going to be annoying. People need to realize Carson is the future. This is his franchise. He's the man. Yeah, we're just going to have to, focus on the Eagles getting wins and losses and what the Eagles are doing good and what they're doing bad. Try to focus on what we can control. We can't really control anything, but what we can control that we hear and listen and take in, Marcus DGAF, you are better off investing in the pass rush than corners because it's not humanly possible to cover these guys every play for seconds at a time. How you feel about that, Philly take with RB? And then I want to address that too. But
I mean, I think both are important. I think the Eagles have some, solid playmakers with the pass rush, especially when we go out and add like Hargrave and stuff. I think we still need another solid corner, but corners are essential, man. Like you said, they're going to get beat. It's hard to play corner. You can't even touch these, superstar wide receivers, but I think both are important.
Yeah, they go hand in hand. A good secondary, jamming at the line of scrimmage, doing that stuff can also make a quarterback get off his first read, and then that 1 or 2 seconds into disruption to the quarterback's first read allow the defensive players, the D line, to get at the quarterback, and vice versa. The quarterback got to pass the ball fast. Because of that, corner jumps on a route, gets an interception because of the pressure up front. At the end of the day, again, like RB said, I mean, you used to be able to get physical with these receivers. Now everything is pass interference. Everything can be considered unnecessary hands and all that other stuff. So you have to play a lot. It's a lot harder. The wide receiver has all the ammo. I mean, he's running the route first. He knows where he's going. He's fast. And the fact is you can't do really much to slow him down and whatnot. But I'm going to say this. I think our D-line is going to be pretty good this year. I think it's going to, Fletcher Cox, although he was still one of the best he always is one of the best D tackles, and he was really good against the run this year. He did lack in the pass rush. I think it was the lingering injuries. I think it was the double and triple teams that were getting sent to him because of Barnett being injured, Brandon Graham, not being there, being slowed down. All the other D tackles next to him, TJ, Malik Jared Harrison, Son Ridgeway, all going down. You get Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox, both their games are going to elevate.
Yeah, I think the last couple of years, honestly, we've had, solid depth at the defensive line. I just think, last year and the year before, it was just the injuries just started to take us, man. And we're ended up playing third, fourth stringers, from the depth chart. And everyone's just going down with an injury. And guys are playing through injuries,
Gallup and Kyle Washley go watch the game. Why you ain't talking about Mari Cooper watching them, though? That's your number one over there, right? And again, everybody's going to get beat one game, but at the end of the day, we'll see how it is twice this year. Don't worry about it. It's coming. It's coming. If it would get CeeDee Lamb, would you trade all the wide receivers you drafted for him? Nah. Come on. I mean, if you're really saying you're a first round for a first round, and then we just throw in a fifth and a sixth. I mean, if you look at it that way, if it's a first, fifth, and sixth draft picks, of course. But I mean, it's a really unrealistic thing to say about because I like Quez Watkins. I think John Hightower has some potential. Jalen Reagor's good, but if you're just talking first, fifth, and sixth for CeeDee Lamb, why would not? I mean, we saw how we all were acting when the Falcons had that 16th pick. What we were willing to give up.
Yep. I think that's also why the second round hurts even more because it was just 5 slots.
Exactly. Now go ahead.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Like the second round, we could have done so much if we would have sent that pick in a deal, and that's why it hurts even more.
Yeah, especially yeah. But Cool P19 said Eagles' new nickname is the Nation of Speed. You got a
track team here.
Got a track team. Hello, Eagle fans from enemy territory. Oh no, yes, Texas, all 500. Us say just beat them boys. Oh, that's what's up. Hello, Eagle fans from the enemy territory. Yes, Texas. All 500 of us say, just beat them boys. Hey, that's cool. See, at the end of the day, we need some of you guys over there, to handle business for us Philly fans far away from Texas. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you guys.
Best fan base in the world.
Appreciate the super Sorrel Smith. The defense in this chat is as good as the Eagles defense, the way people getting blocked. Dang, man, who's I got to look at on thing. I'm not paying attention to see if I was doing it on my phone, then I would see more of the blocking and stuff like that. That's crazy though. Selling GG said Legion of Speed. I could dig it. I'm sorry we got to do CD dirty for the rest of his career. Hey, yeah. No matter what we thought about him before Thursday, he a Cowboy now.
Yeah, man, we have to learn to hate CD, which is sad, but it is true. Any player that goes to the Cowboys, we gotta hate him.
D Money said you guys act like we missed out on Randy Moss or Jerry Moss or Jerry. Oh, right, Jerry Rice. CD is not that guy. Well, at the end of the day, yeah, he's not a proven receiver. We have not seen nothing he did in the NFL to this point. So you can see the potential there, but yeah, he's not Randy Moss already. He's not Jerry Rice. He's not T.O. already. You just can't give him the best receiver in the world title right away. And we're going to see how it plays out in 2020. Nation of Speed. Cool, though. NOS. Yeah, that's a new thing. You just got to come up with this speed nickname, You got to come up with these speed nicknames.
What do you think about Greg Ward? Do you think he's going to make the roster? I do.
Yeah, I really think the Eagles are going to hold 6 receivers. Try to at least. No less than 5, like I said earlier in this stream. No less than 5. Try to hold 6. He deserves a fighting shot. He deserves a fighting shot. I want every receiver on this team right now to get a legit chance, from the, Greg Ward Jr. to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to Marquise Goodwin, if he can stay healthy, to my boy Quez Watkins, John Hightower, and of course I didn't say Jalen Reagor. Let me say Reagor because I always say Rieger, and a couple people in my last video was like, it's pronounced Ray-Ger. So let me say Reagor instead of Rieger because, people coming at me, but it's cool. I think he should get a fighting chance, though, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying he's more talented than these guys, and that's what I say. You give everybody a fighting chance, the best man will win.
Yep. There'll definitely be a lot of competition. You're right. There's a lot of things we can do.
Correct. Anthony Jolly, after the third day of training camp, I'm tired already. After the third day of training camp, all the wide receivers should have a race and have that video recorded. I'm taking all of them. They ain't getting a tie. Right now, if they race, I think that, I don't know. It's tough because if you get a healthy Marquise Goodwin, boy's fast. He Olympic runner. And Jalen Reagor, when he did his virtual mock, he ran a 4.22, 4.28. So, it would be nice to see, though, a nice race. And don't count my boy D-Jack out, especially if you can get in a time machine and get a nice 26-year-old D-Jack. No, I'm just kidding.
I think D-Jax is going to have a decent year. I do.
Oh, I think he's going to give us something to talk about. But yeah, what about this guy Killings? Yeah, this was one of the undrafted free agents that we signed. He's a little running back. This boy is fast. They said he ran a 4.22, I think it was. He's in the 4.2 something. If you guys know, let me know in the chat. He ran a 4.2 something. Dude is fast. Yo, I don't like to break down film from highlights, and I haven't got to watch his tape yet. He came from a real small school. I can't remember right now. But when this man explodes through the middle, I mean, you see things collapsing, and you think it's going to easily collapse on him, and he's just there. This dude is fast.
Hey, man, you can never count out undrafted free agents.
Yeah, ask Jason Peters.
Yep. Corey Clement.
Should have taken Geno Stone in the draft, Shake said. He said 4.27, 40, UCF Killings. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at all. Teddy Meme, the quickness. So, like I said, we got 229 people total watching this on both respected channels. If you haven't already hit that like button, just click the X button off the live chat for a quick second. Bang, bang, boom, boom, and come back and holla at us. We appreciate it 100%. Again, if you're new to the other person's channel, I go by Philly Mike, but it's Philly Talk Podcast. And we got, go ahead, you could say your own, you know what I mean?
RB, this is Philly Take with RB. Definitely subscribe to both channels, man. We're consistent. We grind. Philly content all day, every day.
All day, every day. But let's see. Let me get to some new comments. Just because a wide receiver has speed doesn't mean they're good. I agree 100%. I agree. John Ross, he's fast. Yeah. Tavon Austin was fast. Yeah.
Dudes are going to catch balls for us. That's what I'm most worried about.
Yeah. But the thing is this, though. See, a lot of people are saying this. Just because a receiver has speed doesn't mean they're good. And I agree. You got to be able to run routes. You got to be able to catch. You got to be consistent. But this is the thing. When you look at the team we had last year and how we lack speed so much, if you got a guy in here who's just fast, he's going to be able to occupy the defense a little bit. And if they say he's fast but he can't catch, well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. So leave this guy 101, a 4.27 speed. Again, Marquise Goodwin, when he was on the Bills, he would blow by people wide open and just drop balls. When he got to the San Francisco 49ers in 2017, this man did start to play football like a legit receiver with that speed, but it all ended quickly with some injuries. So you got to do more than just run, but just running fast, straight, gets these safeties off guys like Zach Ertz, guys like Dallas Goedert, guys going across the middle like Greg Ward Jr. and or whoever's there.
like I said, man, we have a variety of skills within this offense that is very unique in the NFL. There are not a lot of teams who are as loaded as the Eagles in terms of what we can do. That's just me being honest. Like, we got Miles Sanders, Deshaun Jackson, Ertz, Goddard. All these guys bring something different to the table. And I think it's going to be special if they stay healthy.
I agree. And just like I said, just elaborating a little bit more. That's how I feel about him. I feel like in 2017, he converted to not just being fast, also a guy who can make plays. But right then and there, he got hurt, never really had more chances. So I'm optimistic, but every man's going to get their chance to play or get to prove their worth. And now here's the thing: when you have all these guys who run about the same thing, again, you got the fast guys. And the reason we got so many fast guys, and we're going to have to make decisions because we're either going to go in with 5 receivers or 6 receivers. The fastest guy might not make the team because you got other guys who are fat, who are not as fast, but are better playmakers. So it's all going to come into retrospect when they prove their worth. Right. But if you had to say right now, really take our beat. If I had to say Quez Watkins, John Hightower, and Marquise Goodwin, these 3, because Rhaegar being the first pick, not touchable. I think our Whiteside is going to be maybe not touchable because he has a 2nd round name on him. But if you had to say out of these 3, you got one guy who's a veteran and you got the 2 rookies. If one of these guys had to go at the end of the day, who do you think will go?
I think when it comes down to, like I said, if we get back into football operations, I think we'll see if Goodwin has his legs under him. If he does, I think Goodwin's definitely going to stay. We need that veteran type of, experience on the outside, especially if he's healthy. If he's not, maybe he goes. But honestly, I think Quez Watkins, I'm telling you, I think he's going to be a gem late, and I think he's going to show us something. He's got those, little acrobatic skills. He's got that burner speed. I think he's going to make a name for himself. So maybe Hightower goes. I don't know. What do you think?
He said Gallup and Coop had over 1,000 yards. Cobb had 800. Lamb doesn't have to be a number 1. He can just do what Cobb did and have more yards one season than Goodwin in 2 seasons. True, but guess what? That 1,800 yards, that 2,800 yards in receivers got you 2nd place in the division.
You know what I mean? Amari Cooper doesn't show up, on the road. Let's not forget what he does when he goes up against these top-tier corners. All right.
Check it out.
Let's not forget Dak Prescott can't throw a ball accurate past 30 yards.
Hey, JJ Triller, I appreciate the super chat, but at the end of the day, you just made it, you got 2,800 yards and 3 people, right? But you got nothing to show for that. You know what I mean? You didn't even make the playoffs. Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? Playoffs?
Cowboys choke in the face of adversity. I respect them as long as they have valid points. They come, they bring their opinions. But come on, let's be real. Week 16, the Cowboys will have it served up to them on a silver platter. And what will they do? They'll lose against a 6-win team. They'll lose against a 5-win team. Come on.
And, at the end of the day, listen, I know a lot of Cowboy fans. I got a lot of Cowboy fans who are friends. Never that close, because once I know you're a Cowboys fan, I can never let you get too close, no matter what. I'm just playing. But anyways, I love to chat it up with them. But there's some Cowboy fans that you can talk with, and they're cool. And you got some, crazies. But it's like that with every fan. At the end of the day, you say your stuff, I say my stuff. But no matter what we say, Sunday is what proves it.
Right.
You're only as good as your last game.
Honestly, I think it's good they finally got rid of Coach Clapp, but I don't know about Mike McCarthy. I feel like Aaron Rodgers kind of carried him a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the comments that are not going after each other. What are the there's another one, see? And they're going so fast that I try to click on one and like 6 come up, so it's like hard.
Shout out to everyone in the stream, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. What receiver should the Eagles trade for Alshon Jeffrey? I believe should target Brashad Perriman now he's on the Jets. Go ahead, you can take that one.
I think Brashad Perryman would be a good addition. I still want to see the Eagles go after, if they were to go after another receiver, kind of, more of a power type of receiver that could go up on those 50-50 balls. I'm interested to see what we're going to do, in goal line situations. Are we going to throw it up in the end zone? What's going to happen? Is it going to go to Ertz? Is it going to go to Goddard? I don't know.
Yeah. Selling GG, Eagles got to make the play for Stingley Jr. next year to overtake Slay's place, but play next to him at first. Yeah, see, when I first read that, I thought his name was Stingy. And I was about to say, if you got a man like Stingy as a cornerback, you better he was born to play that position. That's why I like that boy's name, Greedy Williams, man. He just got hype into that name. I'm just playing. Interesting, Robert. Is Trevor Williams going to be our number 2 corner? He's still on the roster with the future contracts that we signed him right after the offseason. Pretty much his contract is this. Future contract, so no one can touch you. You got to get healthy. You got to show us that you're not broken down. If you're not broken down, you'll get a chance to make this team. So could be a camp body. He could make the team. Again, 2017 was a top 10 corner. Injury. And so I'm not really for injury guys right now because we're trying to stay healthy. But again, he'll get an opportunity. I don't even think he got to show how he can play. He just got to show he can stay healthy. I think that's where it goes with him.
Who would you put as the second corner right now? If you had to take a wild guess.
The number 2, Darius Slay. I think the advantage goes to Avonte Maddox, but I think Sidney Jones is going to try to compete. I think you want to keep Cravion LeBlanc and Nickel Roby-Coleman in the slot. Cravion LeBlanc, he's a good corner, but if you put him on the outside, you're taking his value down, Same with Nickel Roby-Coleman. He's great in a slot. He can't play the outside once in a while, maybe, but you can't feature him over there. So I think it's going to be between Sidney Jones and Avonte Maddox. Rasul Douglas, if around, might get a shot. If around, I don't think he'll be around much longer. But Sidney Jones is working out with that. I forget his name, that stud DB trainer. And hey, let's not forget, Markel Manuel is now the new DB coach. It's not no more Corey Unlin. Corey Unlin is now the Detroit, almost said Pistons, Detroit Lions defensive coordinator. So Mark Manuel, I think he's one of them coaches that are going to be able to get the best out of the player. He's energetic. He's like a player's coach. He was a defensive coordinator for a little bit. He was a secondary coordinator, but wherever he went, he got the most out of his players, whether it be a big name guy who plays up to his name and or just somebody to be sturdy. So I do like Mark Emmanuel. I think that was a great add into the coaching staff.
I agree. I didn't like Corey Unlin for the most part. I don't even know how he got, kind of a promotion in a way with the Lions. I think he had like some ties there, right?
Say it again.
Corey Unlin, he had some ties with someone in Detroit.
I heard about that too. I'm not sure though, to be honest. What's up, Gay City Sports Channel? My guy, King James III. Tell Howie to give a chance to AB like we did Vic. Yeah, but Vic, Vic had some problems. Did the crime, did the time, felt bad about it. AB, you just got to make sure he don't got a screw loose up here. Like, that man's crazy. But listen, the football talent is 100% there. It's 100% there. Just, did you hear that song? Just me and my guitar?
No, I don't want to speak on that.
I forgot what the song's called, but listen, we got a decent amount of people in here. If you have not heard Antonio's Brown song, it's probably like 2 months old. Would you say it's like 2-3 months old?
Yeah, probably like a month or two.
Bro, when I say he has like a million dislikes, it's crazy. And like I just don't know why he released it though, but that's crazy. That song is, oh my. But if you haven't listened to it, it's pretty interesting to say the least. Just type in Antonio Brown, I forgot, song or something like that. I don't know what their song's really called. It's probably called Me and My Guitar.
He's even getting into to rap battles or rap disses with other people too.
Yeah, he was gonna box. Oh, did you? He was gonna box. What's his name? What's that famous YouTuber?
Logan Paul.
Yo, did you hear Logan Paul's diss track?
Yeah, they were going back and forth. It was crazy.
Yeah, but Nick said, should we bring back McCown for a quarterback coach? How do you feel about that?
I would love that. I thought McCown brought, wisdom, experience, knowledge, and he was just always around the dudes. I thought he would be great.
That's crazy. Appreciate you, Gate City. Yeah, man. I was just, it was getting close up there, so I wanted to see if we could get it. But I ain't gonna I wouldn't mind, to be honest. But appreciate you, Gate City. Oh, wait, I wanted to see one. So Philly, who's going? Another guy. Hey, I never had this many Cowboy fans up in here. It must be, it was all your videos that brought them Cowboy fans.
I love it, man. They're all starting to tune in, man. I give them a little credit for drafting some decent picks, and they think I'm a Cowboys fan. They're trying to convert me actually in the comments. They want me to rep that blue and silver. I told them no way.
Nah. Gay City, the man with the awesome breakdown videos. Yeah, man. Gay City. I'm not gonna be on much longer. I would just send you the link, get you on here real quick, let you defend Philly Nation, because it's kind of getting overtaken right now. Nah, I never get overtaken though. But that, what's going on, Philly Fresh? Oh wow, it just disappeared almost. When Boston Scott is our slowest passing option other than the tight end, it's looking like a victory for me. Yeah, man. The speed is definitely there. So now we just got to see what we do with this speed. How Doug Peterson and this new coaching staff, the Marty Morning way, not play calling, but ideas behind the scenes, the Rich King Anello, ideas behind the scenes, how this mixes with Doug Peterson. Can we get a guy that Doug Peterson can lean on like he leaned on Frank Wright? Because at the end of the day, Frank Wright, people miss him, but Doug Peterson still called the plays in that era too, or in that season too. He just probably had more of a supporting cast, and more of a guy he trusted, more of a guy he could, ask for advice, where Mike Groh is just like, I don't know, you tell me,
I think Doug really relied on Frank and John DeFilippo, and I feel like Doug has the same mentality. He just gets lost in himself sometimes. And I feel like he really relied on Frank, which he didn't have in Mike Groh and Carson Welch.
Demier said, what do y'all think about Khalil Tate being an Eagles receiver? He's a dog. He might be able to be like a Greg Ward, he was was he a quarterback too?
Yeah, he was a good quarterback in college. Had over 6,000 receiving yards, 75 touchdowns, I think. He's athletic, though. He definitely is.
Word. Do you see Adrian Killings as a backup running back or a special team punt returner? Howie likes to bring these guys in who have one specific trait, and they turn to camp bodies and stuff. But man, he's very electric. What I would love to see him get an opportunity to play. But again, with Boston Scott and Miles Sanders there, you would really think the third running back would be a bruiser type runner, like Elijah Holyfield or somebody else. I think Corey Clement is still talking to the Eagles about trying to make an appearance. So I would love to see Killen somewhere, because he's fast.
Yeah.
Dang, there's a lot of hate. A lot of hate in the chat. A lot of hate. Yeah, so, I'm surprised a lot of people stick around and didn't watch the Jordan thing. I'm definitely going to rewatch it, because that's very interesting. Yep. I want to definitely see that. But, there's so many ways to get that now. You don't have to, it's not 1987 where if you didn't watch the scheduling program, you ain't watching it. There's many ways to skin a fish. So Definitely check that out. But I wasn't to touch up some more. Dang, my eyes are like really tired. But I want to touch on some more of these comments, hit some more topics out, and then we call it a day. Like I said, appreciate everybody in the chat. Whether only actually gotta appreciate only like maybe 75% of you guys, because there's a lot of hate going on in the chat. A lot of hate. But you know what? You ain't doing it right until you got a lot of hate. You get a lot of hate, you're doing something right. And the Philadelphia Eagles doing something right. We did something right in 2019, and that is a division champ.
Hey man, it's gonna be a good battle this year.
See, look at this. See what you gave him? You gave him this. You gave him this thing. You gave him this.
Hey man, y'all can have CeeDee Lamb, y'all can have a center, y'all can have whoever you want. Like I said, the Cowboys will choke when it is time.
Hey bro, what do you think about the dynamic of moving Rieger to the X, even though he's a natural flanker, and J-Jaw, Rhaegar, and Hightower fighting it out? Fighting it out for what? For playing the X, you think Hightower can play the X too? I think Rhaegar could be using the X. Would I use him as like a full-time X? No, he's a guy you want to move around. I think you want to move him around the line as much as possible too. You get him in some motions. You see him in the slot, see him at the flanker, see him at the X, see him in the backfield. You can use this guy. He's very, a very, what do you call it? Dynamic player. And that's your man, 50 grand, Gate City. You've been on him from forever. You've been on him. But at the end of the day, we got like 7 receivers. Gate City, who do you think will be the first option to get cut, and how many receivers you think will be stuck? We will go into September with. Go ahead. You can take this one.
Eagles did sign another running back, Michael something, but don't remember his name, and he's a solid Howard type running back. I'm gonna definitely have to check him out. Like Mike was saying, we need a bruiser type running back, one that'll get you a couple yards when you need it, third downs, third and shorts. Alex Michael Warren II. Okay.
Starting at the X, Hightower. Yeah, so you would probably want to get Hightower and Arcega-Whiteside to be a guy who stays there more. But let Rhaegar go everywhere. Utilize this kid. He said he could run the route tree. His interview was real. I loved his interview. He said, "I'm 5'11", but I play like I'm 6'4". I could run the whole route tree." They were like, "What's the best part of your game?" "I'm coming in to do whatever the Eagles need me to do." And I like that type of mindset. Warren is his name. Yep. Everybody coming with the Warren. Tony Gold. I feel the ideal situation is Hightower and Watkins taking 2 receiver spots. Interested. Elijah's a bruiser. Don't get it twisted. Oh yeah, definitely he's a bruiser. And Doug did show interest in him when he was in Georgia. So much speed, love it.
Yep.
True that you need hate to love to prosper. Fly, Eagles, fly. Appreciate that, Elijah. Go ahead, take this one, Philly Tate.
Do you think Quez Watkins and John Hightower will make the roster? We're deep at wide receiver. I agree. I think at least one of them will end up making the roster. I don't know how much they're going to play, but I don't think it's a long stretch. Like Mike said, we're probably going to carry 5-6 receivers, so I could definitely see one of them sticking around.
Yeah. Dang. I forgot to do something on this. Yeah, so we about to, finishing up a little bit. Like I said, we're going to get some more live streams going on here. And we might even get Philly Take our beat on with the crew, Gate City and Philly Fresh, Eagle content creators always showing love to other Eagles content creators. This is what we do. It's not just Eagle content creators too, all Philadelphia content creators. And sometimes once it gets that time, I start mumble, bumble, fumbling, some Chris Berman stuff. Think of all the space the best tight end duo in the NFL will have with all this speed. I agree.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Peter Griffin, appreciate the super chat. I'm thinking about switching from the Pats to the Eagles. Why not? Why not? Whoa. You're leaving the Pats now because your dynasty's over. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Who are the Patriots even going to throw at quarterback at this point?
Where you hiding? I appreciate you. Appreciate all the support. And like I said, so we going to finish it up. I'm going to let Philly take some over before we go. But make sure whoever channel you're watching on the way out, if you didn't smash that button, it goes a long way. Appreciate you guys. And at the end of the day, when the season comes, we just want to make sure that, we do what we got to do and handle what we got to handle. See, and this is the type of a Cowboy fan that I could chop it up with, because even though they're probably my most hated team, just the way our blood is, it's not that, but it's never nothing personal. Some people make it personal. It's that, my team don't like your team don't like my team. But as long as you can keep it 100 with me, I give props when props are there. You beat the Eagles, I give you respect for that week, 100. Dak Prescott, he's getting cheated out of his money. Should he get the biggest money that he want, $40 million? Not really, but he should have got a contract. So it is what it is. But I like y'all Eagle fans. I wish y'all luck next year. Like, good competition in the division. Appreciate you 100%, Brian Weidman. I could dig it. No pun intended. You got Trevor Diggs. I'm trying to think of a good one to get this.
Yeah, man, I could stand some of them.
Yeah, but I was reading some of your comments, especially on them big bangers, man. You had a lot of them. But no, there were some respectable ones too. But you got the ones that just,
the typical Cowboys fans.
Mike, I got D Jackson, JJ Arthega, Whiteside, Greg Ward Jr., Rhaegar, Hightower, and Quez on the roster. Marquise is here just in case Quez and Hightower don't work. I agree. I think, again, I don't dislike the trade because all you did was swap 6. But again, a 2017 version of Marquise Goodwin was a guy who was starting to be like, yo, he's not just speed. But it was such a small sample size, you can't put your money on that. So unless he can show he's healthy, unless these and now you're not going to keep a 29-year-old over these young boys unless Quez Watkins is more of a project, or John Hightower is more of a project, or one of these guys get hurt, all that stuff. And so it's going to work itself out, but I like the list, Gate City. How about you, Philly Tate?
I like that list. Like I said, Goodwin, I think he's here, that veteran guy who could end up making the roster if he's got healthy legs under him, but it's a long stretch. That's a good list.
I don't know what the context on this is. Is this still about the Jalen Hurts, or is this from a, non-Eagle supporter?
Who knows?
Hey, we got speed. Team superior. I agree 100%. Mills to cornerback 2 because Taylor's the dog. Taylor's the dog.
Is he talking about Davion Taylor?
Yeah, but he said Mills to cornerback 2. Taylor's a dog. Like, Mills going to cornerback because Taylor's going to play safety?
I think that's what he's saying. I'm not sure.
Yo, I can't wait. Yo, Gay City, you know how I've been on Quez Watkins for a minute. As soon as the combine was over, he was part of my one video. I've been putting out Quez Watkins. I put my actual Quez Watkins video out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. But even prior to that, I had a little thing at the combine about him. And so, I would love to get a little Quez Watkins jersey if he can make something on his team. But again, he's a 6th-round pick. There is rawness to him. Don't hear this and say, oh, Quez Watkins going to come out here and be the number 1 receiver for the Eagles. No, he got some growing pains he got to get through. But there's things you can't teach. His athleticism, his height to speed ratio, his contested catch. But he does got some stuff he got to take care of, But I like him. Oh, yeah, he come from the other side. The other side. For the rest, go ahead. You could take this one.
To be honest, I give our draft a solid B plus. How about you guys? If we didn't get Jalen Hurts, def would have been an A. I gotta agree with that. I went B or B minus. I think without that bad pick in the second, I'd probably give him an A too.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with a B for now, but yeah. And again, it's not that I don't like Jalen Hurts. It's just what was on the board and how I believe you draft a backup quarterback. Listen, again, here's a good thing for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is a pretty good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I'm not gonna do this whole comparison over, blah, blah. He's a good quarterback. He's a solid guy. He was drafted in the 4th round. Why? The Cowboys wanted to get a predecessor for Tony Romo. So they drafted their backup quarterback in the 4th. He proved that he was able to take the job from Tony. Cool. Tony's a really good announcer. But at the end of the day, that's what you use, a 4th round pick. And if you get that gem, it's cool. But you don't really use a 2nd round pick on that. That's just me. But at the end of the day, he's an Eagle. So I'm going to rock with him. But I did see one I wanted to get about Gate City. This is Mark Holmes. I don't even know why I accidentally clicked that. Sometimes the thing, but let me get that out. I hear this. Quez is better than Marquise in my opinion. I think he will rise up quickly if we have an actual off season. That also, discredits a lot of people. It's going to be harder for these young guys to get acclimated with this type of off season. We never had this before.
Right. That's why I give the Eagles an advantage, though. Because we are the ones coming back with the same system, the same coach,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're the most familiar team. I mean, every other team has a new coach, new system, and it's going to be this whole offseason problems, all that good stuff. It is what it is, though,
Yep.
Hold on, what am I doing? I try to click on one, but then the chat moves it up. And yeah, so if I keep going, sometimes you get stuck in here, and I'm like, I try to say we're getting off, and then it's 2 hours later, and I'm like, yeah, we're getting off. So, you got any finishing touches on this?
Overall, I would just say I think the Eagles had a pretty decent draft outside of that pick, and I like Jalen Hurts. Welcome him to Philadelphia. Even for all the Cowboy fans in here, I think the Cowboys had a good draft too. But overall, I'm rocking with my team. I think it's going to be a fight down the stretch. I think the Eagles are going to take over this year. I think we're going to break that curse. I think Wentz is going to go off this year. I'm hoping for good health. And yeah, man, I think it's going to be a good season if we even play football,
I agree. Yeah, like at the end of the day, Howie did come up in the third day, 4 through 7. I was busy today. Like me and RB wanted to stream earlier, but I was busy. But I am working on my. I'm gonna have a video about some of these guys. Try to do my little breakdown to where I can say their strength, weaknesses, what I really like about this player, what I think he got to work on, what he can bring to Philadelphia, all that good stuff. And I'm really interested in the breakdown. Kevon Wallace, a guy that I think was a steal in the 4th. I'm also going to talk about John Hightower and stuff. I might even do a complete mix. I might just break down Kevon Wallace, Davion Taylor, and who else? Sean Bradley. I might do them 3 in a package video, and then I'll break down John Hightower. I'll talk about Quez Watkins once again, and I'll probably just throw in a little bit more of Jalen Reagor because I did a Jalen Reagor video, and I did a Quez Watkins video, but now that they're actual Eagles, we can really fine tune where they can fit. But at the end of the day, like I said, I go by Philly Mike with the Philly Talk podcast. And go ahead.
I go by RB. This is Philly Take with RB. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Go sub up my boy Mike. That man just hit 3Ks on his grind. Respect you, bro.
And my man just hit 1K, so I respect him to death too. I respect anybody who represents the Shield. You represent the Shield, we got something in common. Appreciate the super chat, Lou D. That's my bad. Wallace takes free safety. Mills the cornerback too. Yeah, listen, remember, Mills is going to be used in the cornerback position, but we never said that that's his legit position. So injury happen on the cornerback, or maybe certain schemes, we're going against a bigger wide receiver thing. You don't want to keep Avonte Maddox out there. You don't want to keep Sidney Jones. You think Jalen, who is a physical physical cornerback. So that's what I think. This defense is versatile enough where you can mix match. Will Parks might play some safety. He might play some nickel. You might have 4 DBs in. You might have 3 safeties in. You might have Mills play in the box. You might have Mills play outside. You might have Mills play. I think you could do a lot of versatile things with this defense, and that's what makes the defense pretty good. And there's speed there, and there's youth, so we can get back to doing some of the things we like.
Yep.
But like I said, off that compensation, I'll just get into another one, and then I will be tired from my job tomorrow. But like I said, I appreciate all you guys. If you guys can do me a favor and smash this like button on whatever channel you're watching on the way out. And you know what I always say. Until next time, we out. Peace.